Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday night chat. So far, it's just me and Blue 823 here. I'm sure I got some invites sent out there. Might be some people running late. I'll pop in. I see Buck Run 11's out there. Hey, just me and Blue right now. And let me turn that mute off. There we go. And anyway, I'll let Blue say a word and we'll get started.
Thanks for the invite as always. Nobody else is here, but we'll just kind of roll with it like we usually do. Nothing real new going on. I told TR before we actually went live, coming up not this week, but starting next week is our rifle season. So I'll be out in the woods getting some video. It's been, man, the last video I think I actually uploaded was my 1,000 subscriber giveaway video. So it has been a long ass time. Not that anything major has been going on. It's just I don't know, every now and again you just get into that rut where it's like, man, I don't want to make a video. I really don't want to make a video. But so hopefully well, definitely there'll be some videos started then. So can't wait for that to happen, which is going to cut into my chat time because I actually have to get to bed early, but we'll work through it. I can at least come in for a couple hours on Sat or Sunday, at least, well, maybe an hour or so, but that's pretty much all I got for now, man.
Okay. I don't have a whole lot of subjects to talk about. I will expand on my rant today. I kind of answered most of the comments I've responded, but I didn't get to comment to all of them. I was at work, so I was just kind of doing it on my break doing it on my phone at breaks and stuff like that. Anyway. But what my point I was getting at, I didn't ever get to it. It's kind of hard to think, drive, and shift gears and all that at the same time. Is my personal opinion about it. Is the reason. Oh, my rant was. I didn't say it, but most people understand. Y'all, we've been hearing blue collar worker. There's like a white collar worker and a blue collar worker. Now, I never had a problem with that. White collar just stood for somebody that had a degree and they work in offices and shit like that. And blue collar workers punch a clock and do a job. That's what I do. So I had no problem. I was telling Blue, and literally my shirts are blue. My uniform shirt is blue. So I literally am a blue collar worker. And but they quit. For some reason, I ain't saying they quit using the term altogether, but when they're talking about all these stats, how the rural America that's not college educated, there's a good bit of a really high majority of non-college degree white males voted for Trump, and that's irking the shit out of them. They think that we're ruining the country, but anyway, they just keep repeating it. I see it in editorials that I read in newspapers. I keep seeing it in news clips, like CNN clip or NBC clip or whatever, and they keep throwing the term out, uneducated, 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 instead of a blue collar worker, which I have no problem with. But the uneducated thing is a double insult. One, they're saying I have no education, like I fucking Jethro Bodine, graduated 6th grade. And the other is they don't think I know anything about politics, because I literally heard one of the commentators say, if they would listen to us, we're telling them what's going on. They don't know what they're doing. And I took big insult to that. So that's one of the reasons I made that video, because it's just like, these people, I don't know if everybody caught it. Maybe not. It may not even bother anybody that they were saying uneducated, but I saw it as a two-pronged insult. One, that I don't know shit, that I'm just uneducated in general in life. And the other, I don't know anything about politics, and they're the expert. They know more about it than me. And so I thought I'd say something about it. Like I said, maybe most people didn't think about it. And now that I brought it up, it's going to start pissing everybody else off when they keep hearing it.
And if you think about it, how many people are what they're calling uneducated? If they're considering zero college degree as being uneducated, Holy shit. I mean, that's, man.
That's a good many of the damn Hillary supporters too. So, you know, there's a lot of college degrees. There's people with master's degree that voted for Trump. There's black men, women that voted for Trump. There's Latinos that voted for Trump. You know, the whole spectrum. I mean, they're pointing it out like that's like this a cancer of America. This rural, white, uneducated group. Because if it hadn't been for us, he wouldn't have got elected. You know.
I'm glad I'm now deplorable and uneducated. That's all I can say. Because technically, I don't have a college degree.
Yeah.
Most people don't. I'm in the same boat as you are, TR. I went for basically a trade school. I mean, that's what the academy was. So, you know, it would count as points toward a college degree if I ever wanted to do that. But unless I pay the extra money, I don't get the credits. And at the time, I wasn't worried about the credits, so I didn't pay the extra money. So I'm uneducated as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow it's become the mindset, and not from us, but the mindset that if they do end up getting a degree, that they're more intelligent than us. That don't mean shit. That means you got a piece of paper. I got a master's degree. I don't know what we was talking about one night. Oh shit, I'm covering my last name. I got a master's degree. See that? Piece of paper with a master's degree and my name on it. There you go. Got it from School of Hard Knocks. Come on, camera. I screwed my camera up, putting it up too close. Anyway, there it is. So, you know, and it's just ridiculous because they think that they got a piece of paper that makes them more intelligent, makes them smarter. You know, you can have all the high IQ degrees and all that, but if you don't, I've seen some people talk about, if you don't use reason, logic, and facts, you're fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how many degrees you got.
Look at this is probably the worst example I can think of, but there's the one video out there floating around that says, or it doesn't say anything, but it's basically a college, and I don't know which college it is. I don't know what these kids' majors are, but they're all sitting around in a circle as one other kid's trying to open a can with a goddamn can opener and can't get it to work. And then all of a sudden they figure it out, and it takes them like 10 minutes to, you know, get this can open. Everybody starts cheering like, oh my God, that was the greatest thing ever. It's like, you know, and this is nothing against people with mental handicaps, but unless that video was shot in one of those group homes trying to teach individuals life skills, that is not.
I've seen that video. I'm like you. I'm like, is this staged? Is this? Because it's like all the people in the audience, they were like, I mean, they literally like didn't know how to open up a fucking can of beans. I mean, they might could use I don't even know if they ever used the electric one. Their mom's always done it. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what it was. They never had to open up a can. If it didn't have a pop top on it, or a can of beanie weenies or whatever, hell, they don't know how to open it. I mean, it was excruciatingly painful watching it. It's just I wanted to snatch the damn can up out of her hand through the damn monitor. You know, it's like, does nobody stand up and go up there and show her how to do that shit?
That's probably the worst example I could come up with, but those are the people that are educated voters.
Yeah. Tam, Ohio. Let me read this. I know everybody, you know, just for anybody that watches this later. Ohio Wolverine. Just jumping in and say hello and let you guys know I was walking out of a Walmart with a new gun. Some couple was walking by me and she said, fucking Second Amendment son of a bitch.
Really?
I replied a simple off. I'm assuming fuck off, but that's what I'd have told her. But, yeah, a bunch of people didn't come in. I'm going to do a rundown. S.H.T.F out there. 6. This is easier to do when there's a couple of people in here anyway.
So
Yeah.
I thought you were doing a rundown. That's why I shut up. I thought you were going to go through the
Yeah,
chat.
let me go ahead. Yeah, let me go ahead and do a rundown. I was typing. Let me do a rundown real quick. All right, we got the 806 Travelers, P NASCARs, Sandy's Passions, Buck Run 11, Tom Olfson, AZ Patriot, Zeus, ATF Sucks, Ohio Wolverine, Red October, War Prophet, Stewart Design 101, The Genius Prepper, Digger Joe, I think I said Buck Run 11, Gear Gridden 19, Digger Joe, Live for a While, hey Colonel. There's Chris Do It Yourselfer. Thanks, man. Right. There's a few others that popped in just for a second. Johnny Master's Arms done. Where's she at? Charlie Lives. I'm sure there was a few others, but I don't see them now. So, yeah, I ain't scrolling up far enough. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming by. Hopefully, it's just me and Blue, Cobra, the real Cobra Burnout. What's up, man? Just me and Blue. So hopefully we can keep a decent show going for y'all. We'll probably try to answer questions or subjects, talk about subjects or something. I had one lady comment that she didn't know what xenophobia was, or a xenophobe. That is fear, like a bad fear and loathing of other countries. Like every country in the world is just horrible, and you're scared of them. Like they might attack you, I guess, or you just think their culture is just so bad that I'm assuming it's like you have so much nationalism. Like if you're not an American, you suck, or whatever country you're from. So evidently we're xenophobics or xenophobes because we like America or love America. That don't mean there's not other good countries out there, you know. Them ignorant ass people.
TR, I know you don't do a lot of Facebook. Well, actually, you've done more in the last couple of weeks, or maybe the last couple of months than I think I've seen you do in years. But there was a video going around today that I saw for the first time. It was a vet, and he looked like he was at a fast food restaurant. And he basically, I don't even know why somebody else had a camera on, but he's up at the counter, and he says, you know, I'm a vet. Here's my card. And a lady standing behind him starts ripping into him because he thinks that he deserves a discount for serving in the military. And I'll tell you what, I'm trying to find a link so that I can put it out in the external. I'm not going to do it justice by talking about it, but this guy freaking was the most calm, collected person I think I've ever seen in my life. Basically, he's like, you know, you get to go home every night to your family. You get to do this. Whenever us vets, you know, we don't have that choice. We're protecting your right to do that. And I mean, he just goes on. And at the end of the video, this lady's like apologizing to, I'm so sorry for what I said. It's, you know, and I was like, but it's people like that really piss me off, that just open their mouth. And
I don't remember. I seen that video. I didn't think she apologized.
Right. Or maybe it was somebody else that apologized for her.
There was a lady behind the vet that went up there and laid a $5 or $10 bill and bought his meal for him.
Okay. Do you think that was the lady that apologized for the other?
No. She might have apologized for the other lady. That's probably what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
That video.
I said, I'm sorry you had to go through that or hear that or something like that. You know, if she said it, I didn't hear an apology, but I know the woman that was a bitch didn't apologize. Yeah, and you're right. He was saying she was like, "What makes you think you earn all these privileges and stuff?" And that's when he started going into her. A privilege is going home to your family. A privilege is being able to go home at night when you get done with your job, not being overseas. You know, a privilege is this and this and this. And yeah, cause he wasn't mean about it, but he was very stern. You know.
Yeah, but those are the people that you should be able to just turn around and punch in the head. I don't care if you're a man, woman, whatever. I just that type of shit irritates me.
Yeah, there's a lot of places give a 10%, 5% discount to vets, and I don't think there's anything wrong for asking if they do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Home Depot and Lowe's does a 10% discount.
Yeah,
They don't advertise it, but they do. All you gotta do is ask.
And they do it for like cell phone carriers. If you tell your cell phone carrier that you're a vet, or if you're in law enforcement, EMS, fire, they give you basically what the hell do they call it? A public safety discount or something like that. I mean, it's not a lot, but
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, damn. You know. I know when I got back from Desert Storm, um, I took my wife, we went down, we was like, fuck it, let's go to Florida. Let's go to Disney World. You know, I got married in 1990. I got married in June. Yeah. And in December, I got shipped fucking Saudi Arabia. So first Christmas together, I was in Saudi Arabia. Come back that next summer in '91. So I had a little time, you know. I was like, well, let's go to Florida. Let's go to Disneyland, Disney World. You know, be pretty cool. You know. Plus, they were telling us, everybody was telling us at the base and stuff that they're giving these big discounts for veterans coming back from Desert Storm and stuff. That's why we, you know, so at least at hotels they were. So I was like, okay, shit, they're gonna give us a big discount and stuff. Shit, let's ride down there, you know. And have a week together, you know. I've been gone for 6 freaking months. And got down there. I didn't have any vouchers or nothing like that. Just got down there, had my military ID, you know, and I started calling. This was back when you had, you know, pay phones, and you didn't have cell phones. and so I go into the phone booth and just started calling hotels, you know, and they was like, no, 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 no. And I hit one and asked the guy, and he was like, no, but he's like, so you get using the, I don't know if he asked me if I was in Desert Storm, if I was just a veteran, but I, you know, told my spiel. I got back from Desert Storm. I was told that a lot of hotels were giving discounts and stuff. And I don't remember what kind of discount he gave me, but he gave me a pretty good discount. I mean, it was a good bit. It wasn't 50%, but it was a good 30% or something like that. You know, and I was like, okay, cool. It might have been 50%. Hell, I don't know. But it turned out he was like a retired chief warrant officer or some shit like that. So, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, hell, they give senior citizens a discount. You gonna bitch at them too? I mean,
I hate to be on the freaking rant about videos, but today sucked. It was our first winter weather that we had for the year. Freaking all the interstates around us are shut down because people forget how to drive and everything's freaking icing up. But there was another one, and it really freaking pissed me off where I guess the family of a soldier that had died, I don't know where the soldier had died. I don't know the name, but the family flew out to where the body was coming back to the U.S., and then they caught the flight from wherever that was to their hometown or the city closest to them. And, you know, the people on the airline get on the PA system and basically say, you know, we ask everyone remain in their seats while we have the family of, and they said the name of the deceased soldier family, you know, exit the plane. And while the soldier's body is being taken off the plane being taken off the plane, and these people were freaking booed. People booed them that they had to wait.
it might have been different stories of it. The one I read, they said a special serviceman's family, but they didn't. The one I read, because they even said they don't think that they said that they was a deceased soldier on the plane or whatever, but they did say it was a special military family. We're going to let them get off first. And like you said, first class, and they said they didn't know if business class did, but they knew first class was bitching and booing and carrying on. It don't matter if they knew they had their son died or not. What the fuck?
I don't know. I think we do need to get back to a little more of the strong or tough love where you're allowed to just punch somebody in the face. You know what? I hate saying it like that, but Jesus Christ. You know, it's like everybody has lost such a respect for, I mean, everybody. If it's not centered around me, you are completely out of line. You are completely wrong. You are, and I'm going to let you know. And it doesn't matter what you've done. And that irritates the shit out of me, that people just feel this self-righteousness, this self-entitlement that, oh my God, I have to wait for an extra 5 minutes. You know, who the fuck cares? Yeah. Unless I've got a shit, and I mean, I've got to go now, I'm good. I can wait, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's this me, now. I mean, we all can be in a hurry here and there, but even if I am in a hurry and something holding me up, you know, like a freaking line at a convenience store or something, I don't start bitching, moaning, huffing and puffing. I'm just thinking, damn it, why they hurry up? You know, but I don't say anything out loud or so, damn, you know. It's like, geez, if you that damn important, you should have left earlier.
And I think that's actually part of the problem, because in the back of my head, I'm afraid that if I am that guy, being that, that somebody is going to turn around and punch me in the face, because that still happens in my area. Because people are just like, what the fuck is your issue? And bam, they pop you. You know, I mean, maybe that's kind of why that doesn't happen here. And once you get into the bigger cities and you deal with, you know, these people that are all about themselves, you know, instead of somebody standing up and saying, you know, you're wrong, shut the fuck up and sit down, the other one joins in with them. And then the other one joins in with them. It's like, man.
Yes. Well, the PC society has ruined society. They started hard in the 80s, I'd say. I'd say that's when it really got started. When they took paddling out of school. Well, that's when they took it out of school in South Carolina, anyway. Sometime, I know I graduated in 86. They were still paddling in high school. You know.
It was like 95-ish whenever they stopped in the school I was in. But that's the other thing. If I ever, which I don't know how, I know how. I avoided the paddle a lot by taking the detentions, but in the family that I grew up in, if you did something wrong and they knew you did something wrong and you got the paddle at school, you're hearing Dad's leather clear his belt loops whenever he got home from work, you know, and that doesn't happen anymore. People bitch about, oh, you separated my child and put him at a table by himself because he was acting up. You just segregated him from the rest of the class and singled him out. Yeah, your kid's a dickhead, and we're not allowed to paddle them anymore. So we put him in the corner, you know. God. Yeah.
Yeah, parents not spanking their kids when they need it, not just spanking them for the hell of it, but
hey,
and the schools can't discipline. There's been so many things that they just ate away at it. I don't know they can ever be fixed. Even with Trump getting in, that's not going to fix none of that shit. Mm-mm. The only thing that's going to stop is the political PC bullshit coming out of the White House and being spread and accepted and pushed, that whole agenda being pushed on all these other programs and stuff out there. You can cut that shit out. You know, you can stop it. You at least keep it from spreading.
Right.
And people grow a damn backbone, and you ain't gonna fix this country sitting back on the couch. You're gonna have to get a shovel and work. You don't have to make sacrifices.
Yep.
The only way that, if this country could be fixed, which I still don't think it can be, the government's too big of a monster in our debt. That anyway, they might be a way. Somebody smarter than me would have to figure it out. But you might could take steps to go the right direction to fixing it.
It's definitely scary where we're headed to. And I mean, it's not even just with the discipline in the schools, or the discipline at home, because people are afraid that, oh, if I smack my kid, I'm going to get arrested for abuse. In Pennsylvania, if you want to smack your kid for doing something stupid, smack your kid. You don't get arrested for that. But it's also, which I know we've touched on before, the freaking, was there a squirrel up there in the corner?
I just looked at some shit out of there.
But yeah, I mean, it's they're stripping the fundamentals out of school. History. Last night, me and the kids and the wife went out spotting deer, and I don't know how we got into this while spotting deer, but I started asking my kid, Basic, who's in fourth grade. Well, I got a fourth grader, a second grader, and a first grader. But I just started asking, basic questions. When did Columbus come to America? Who was this president? Who was? And these are, I remember as a kid knowing all this stuff. And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, what history classes do you have? Do you guys have history at all? And this is God's honest truth. She looked at me and said, anything that we learn in school about history, we learn in music class, because they're learning songs, or, like at Thanksgiving, they learn when Christopher Columbus came over and they sat with the Indians, and they learn a president's song, and they learn this and they learn that. But I thought my school was doing a kick-ass job up until last night with teaching kids the fundamentals of what school should be. And that blew my mind. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I read there was an editorial in the Greenville News today. Anyhow, yeah, it was a pretty good article. And he was talking about these kids graduating high school today, how the classes that they're taking. I mean, there's all kind of like, wussified pussy ass classes that they get credits for, and maybe hell they might can major in them. I don't know. I mean, it's damn near just like, gender bias and blah blah blah. I mean, it makes basket weaving look like a legitimate class. All the stuff he was listing off. But one of the things that you didn't have to have for to graduate was any American history. None. It's like you can get a college degree and not have to take any American history classes. You can take all these other mushy wushy classes that don't mean shit. It's like he was that basically that's what he was doing. He was bitching about college today and the kids and what they can get by with to get a degree, and it's freaking worthless. Mm-hmm. And they're dumb as a box of rocks. And that's probably one of the reasons they're holding up signs. Patriotism is racism, and these fucking anarchists just kill me. And the communist flags, and I think a lot of those, I really think that's the one Soros is paying. I think they're the paid ones, but like the ones that are wearing a mask and then they're flying the communist flags and stuff like that, but they all got masks on. It's like, if you're protesting, what you hiding, And if somebody wants to interview them, they just like rude and not giving straight answers, not giving any answers, and start talking about some other bullshit. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And no, I disagree with you, Dirt Road. I think whipping a child is not a wrong thing to do. I think there's a lot of kids that need they needed a lot. The not having their butt whooped and being punished is why we got what we got in the streets right now.
I'm actually typing that out pretty much right, except I misspelled actions, but by a long shot. I was trying to hurry it up, but
Well, just think, you raise your kids, they never get punished to any extent. Others, oh, well, I'll take your PlayStation away, and then 5 hours later, the parent gives it back to them. They never get punishment. They turn 18, they get out on their own, they go to college, whatever. And that's why they're acting out the way they do now. They have no respect for the law. They have no respect for their elders. They have no respect for anybody. They really don't have any respect for their fucking self. I'm using my brother as an example because my dad beat my ass when I fucked up. And don't get me wrong, he didn't beat me much. He didn't whip me. I shouldn't say beat. He didn't whip me much because that whipping lasted for months. I was not going to fuck up if I could help it. But, it happens. You're a kid, But, up until the day my dad died, I would not buck up to my dad. I had the utmost respect for him. Plus, he was a lot fucking bigger than me, but it wouldn't have mattered. But these kids, they get out on their own, or even they were living in their mom's basement or they're in their regular bedroom or whatever, but they're out there on the streets protesting and rioting and burning shit down and just being disrespectful as hell, holding up fucking communist flags or anarchy fucking signs and saying love this and love that while they're down spewing out racist shit. They have no idea of how to function in society because they've been cuddled their entire fucking life where there was no repercussions for fucking up. None. Very, very little. If they got some, they pitch a damn tantrum fit and get their way. I'm not saying every kid out there. I'm not saying the kids of the people out here watching this chat because I'm sure y'all are not who I'm talking to. But you know what I'm talking about, what we're seeing out there. I've seen video after video after video. Fucking grown, basically men. They're 18, 19 years old, literally screaming, stomping, yelling, getting violent with somebody because they don't like the fucking sign somebody's got. Who taught you that you got to get your fucking way? Suck it up, buttercup.
I love telling this story about getting my ass whooped one time. I was 18 years old, and God, 18, you can't tell me what to do, parents. You can't tell me anything, even though I'm still living underneath your roof. My parents were not abusers. Every ass whooping I ever got, I fully deserved, except for one. And if EMT Rail fan, if you're watching this is your fault. Playing with matches, I took that one. But that's the only ass whooping I didn't deserve. And it wasn't even an ass whooping. If I get hit with a belt 3 times, that's what I consider an ass whooping. You know what I mean? It's not that, I got pinned down and lashed or anything like that. I just got a belt, But I was 18, went out to a party, got drunk as shit. Had somebody else bring me home, drop me off up at the neighbor's driveway. I walked through the yard to try to sneak into the house. Well, I was really, really drunk. It was passed out drunk after being at the party for 2 hours. So, yeah, it was bad. But I go up the steps, and at the top of the steps, we had like a little landing, and then there's like 4 more steps, and then you're at the upstairs. Well, whenever I got up there, Mama was standing at the top of the steps, and she's like, "Have you been drinking?" And I'm like, "No." And no, I was pretty much wasted. And she's like, "Yes, you were." She's like, "You're grounded for the next I don't know how long." And I'm like, "I'm 18. You can't tell me what to do. Go fuck yourself." Bam. That was the first time I've been hit. Whenever I say hit, not like, smack across the mouth. That was the first time I'd been hit. And I went back those 4 steps, landed on my back on the landing. And that was the end of it. I didn't get up and be like, "All right, let's go." I was like, shit. I just got whooped by my mama. And, I deserved every bit of that. And then the following day, she woke me up, I think at 8:00 in the morning, and I had to work, like, do this. Then I had to take a break to throw up, and then do this. Then I had to throw up. And then she made me sit there when she called the insurance company and took me off their car insurance. And then I had to pay for my own insurance from there on out for car insurance, because that was the one thing she said: if you're ever out drinking, you better find your own way to insure yourself to drive my vehicle. So I learned the hard way, but like you said, people don't have any. And it's not that you smack a kid to hurt them for per se. It's that you smack them to get their attention and know that if you screw up and you screw up bad enough, you're gonna. I, I'm your boss. As of right now, I'm your boss. And if you screw up bad enough, I'm smacking you so that you have that little bit of pain to know that you don't want that pain again. And I'm gonna, your attitude's gonna be curbed to act right. And it's, I don't know, these damn timeouts. I mean, yeah, timeouts are good for some things. Absolutely. You don't smack your kid for every little thing they do. I mean, a timeout's okay. But whenever your kid pulls a knife on somebody and you're like, you go sit in your room for the next 5 hours and don't bullshit, you're getting your ass whooped. That is an ass whooping. But there is none of that anymore.
But my second wife, like I said, I can use her for example on some things. I know not every parent's the same, not every whatever, but she was a single mom. So I was the first time she'd been married, and she was like 35 years old. And she had a son. He was how old was he now? 13, maybe 12, 13, something like that. And had a little girl that was about 5, maybe 6, I don't know. And that little girl, I even told her one time, I said, the little girl plays you like a violin. And she kind of got mad because, like, the little girl would be doing something wrong, fucking up, and she'd send her to her room. Go to your room. That was her punishment. Hell, she had cable TV, toys, and all that shit. That was her punishment, And shit, it wouldn't be 30 minutes later, maybe an hour at most. Her girl would be poking around the corner and tell her, like, I love you, mommy, or something like that. And she, and just fall in. That's what I told her. Yeah, she plays you like a violin. And I guarantee you she's going to grow up and be just another one of these little kids out here when they grow up, because she didn't get no punishment, none.
Mm-hmm.
She would do something. She would make her, stand in. I don't even think she did a timeout. It was like go to your room was like the worst thing I remember her doing. And then within minutes, it was like done and over with. Like her daughter didn't figure that shit out,
I know it's probably been a while, but if I did say it, did I ever tell you the story when I almost got fucking suspended for not filing charges on a mother that backhanded her 13-year-old bitch of a daughter? You're muted, brother.
Sorry. I think you did, but go ahead and tell it again.
It's been a while, and we probably have a newer crowd but if anybody has heard this before, it was a typical family. I mean, it was a very typical family. But I get a call to go respond to this house for an active domestic, mother beating a child. That's the only information that came through. So I go and stand outside for a while, and you can hear some yelling, you can hear some screaming, but I mean, that's, you can hear the mom yelling, you can hear the kid yelling, but I'm not hearing any, anything that would say break the door down and go in and do whatever. So I knock on the door. Mom answers the door, and she's pissed. I mean, I completely understand the reception that I got. It was basically like, what the hell are you doing here? Or, she was very defensive. And I was like, hey, we got a call that there was an active domestic here, mother versus daughter. What's going on? And she's like, well, basically this is what's happening. She's like, my daughter, she got caught doing something at school earlier in the week. It's something, nothing major, but, doing kid stuff. And the mother grounded the daughter. And this was a Friday night, and the daughter wanted to go skating and was asking her, can I go skating? Can I go skating? And mom's like, no, you're grounded. You're not going. Well, after about the 5th time, by accounts of the mother, she says, I said, no, you're not going. And if you ask me one more time, you're going to be in your room for the next 3 days. And the daughter was basically the same thing I did to my mom at 18, was like, go F yourself. And the mom she's like, and I went back, and she's like, I backhanded her right across the mouth. I'm like, all right. I was like, well, I need to talk to your daughter and see what's going on. And of course, I'm getting the tongue lashing from the mother because she automatically thinks that I'm there to arrest her for disciplining the child, this and everything else. But I talked to the child, and the child tells me basically the exact same thing, that she'd been grounded. She wanted to go skating. Mom wouldn't let her go skating, told her to go to her room, and she told her mom to F off. And she's like, and she backhanded me. And I'm like, well, where'd she backhand? Yeah. She's like, right here across the face. And you could see the little bit of red mark right in the cheek. I'm like, well, what else did she do? She's like, nothing. She just backhanded me, and that's abuse, and I want CYS called. He's like, all right, thanks. I told her to go back, sit in her bedroom, and I went down and told her mom, I'm like, hey, you're allowed to discipline your kid. I'm leaving. And I left. The following, it would have been Monday. It would have been like Tuesday. I freaking got hauled into the chief's office and almost suspended for not acting on the child abuse. And I'm like, it's not child abuse. I was like, you're allowed to discipline your child. Well, you should have called CYS and let them handle that. I'm like, for what? Why would I call CYS and waste their time and get this family intertwined with CYS when it's not needed? And it was like, man, I don't know. That story to this day, and that'll stick with me throughout my whole career, because there is a difference between discipline and abuse. I've arrested people for abuse. I mean, I love arresting people for abusing their kids. That's one of my favorite things to do, and I won't make any bones about that. However, if you're disciplining your child, have at it. I don't care.
If I threatened my dad with calling, I don't even know if they had divisions of shit like that back in the 70s, but if I'd have told my dad that I was going to call something services on him, he would have made sure that I think he would have broke every bone in my body beating the shit out of me. I wouldn't have been able to. I definitely probably, if nothing else, I wouldn't been able to walk or sit down because my ass would be hurting so bad. I probably wouldn't be able to do anything but lay on my stomach on the floor.
Right.
Yeah, my dad was I'd say he was a little rough with whoopings, but it wasn't like a prolonged fucking beating, but it was a leather belt. He'd take his belt off, and when you had bent over the bed, he'd whoop my ass, It was but the worst part about it. I shouldn't say this about my dad. Like I said, I don't hold a grudge against my dad by no means. But the worst thing he did, and I think that's what made it worse, he probably wasn't even that bad of beating that. Just remember it was, is he'd make you go into his room and bend over the bed and wait, and then he would let you sit in there for. It seemed like forever. It might not have been as long. You're a little kid. It seemed like an hour, but it'd be a good 10, 15 minutes, I guess. Just knowing that he's going to whip you, and you're just sitting there waiting on it. So you're already bawling and crying, and you're hurting already, and he ain't even come in there. The wait was the worst part, I think. He was messing with me mentally and physically.
Probably the dumbest thing I ever did. Oh, I remember this. I mean, God, this could have happened yesterday. I remember this so vividly. My mom worries about everything. I mean, you're not allowed to do this because of this. You're not allowed to do this because of this. But the one thing, as a kid, I remember her all the time. Don't play with sticks with your brother, because, you get your brother out and you have sticks and you're playing swords and all this other shit. She's like, you guys are going to poke each other's eyes out. Don't do that. Well, we were out playing swords with the sticks, and I fucking swung, hit my brother right in the corner of the goddamn eye. Well, the punishment was that I had to get the stick that I poked my brother with. I didn't do it on purpose. I mean, we were just playing. But I had to get that stick, and I was going to get swatted across the ass with it. Well, I was standing there, and I was doing the 8-year-old fidget, trying to run around to get not hit. And as soon as she took it back, I dropped. I went to my ass. And when she came around, she hit me right in the back with that stick. Well, I was in trouble for, 45 minutes to an hour. I wasn't allowed to do anything. Well, I went to the neighbor's house. As soon as I got done with that, I lifted up my shirt. I'm like, look what my mom did to me. She left a welt on my back. She hit me with a stick. Well, the neighbor took highly offense to my mother doing that, because I didn't give her the whole story. I didn't tell her that I dropped down. She was aiming for the ass, but I dropped down and I got hit in the back. Well, the neighbor went down and started chewing my mom out, and then my mom told her the story, and she was like, "Oh, geez, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." She's like, "But I saw that," and she's like, "I know, I appreciate the concern, but this is what happened." Well, then I got Dad's belt shortly thereafter.
I was about to say that earned another whipping or two, I'm sure.
Oh boy, yeah, that was. But the thing is, I would never. The shit I see people do, and I know we all see it every day. The shit we see people do to others, just out of spite, just because you think it's a game, because you have no fear
Moral
of
compass.
anything. Yeah, I mean that. I would never. I would. Oh man, I would. I'm still afraid my fucking mom would whack me, or my dad would clear leather because they're both still living. But whew, yeah, I'm not so much afraid. Well, actually, yeah, I am. I'm afraid to go to jail. I've told people many times in the job that I'm in, I see people selling drugs for a year at a time, 2 years at a time, and they are pulling money over hand over fist, just raking in the money, raking in the money. And you spend all this time to make an arrest on them, and they get 6 months probation out of it. Holy shit! I want that job. In the back of my mind, it's like I don't have to do anything, and I can make all this money, but I'm scared to death to go into jail. You know what I mean? And that's what keeps me from doing that shit. These individuals that are out there doing that today, if you look, I'm sure, I'll say all of them, because there are probably some really good people that just get down on bad times and they sell shit to make ends meet. But most of them, especially the gangbangers that come down to our area, and whenever I say gangbangers, I mean fucking gangbangers, that's what they grew up with. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing, and they know the law can get them, but they don't give a shit. If they end up going to jail, they go to jail. They'll get out and do it again. And that's what we run into. It's like, man, there's no way in hell.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's almost like a lifestyle that they've been taught by their elders, their older brothers and cousins and all that, that's like this vicious cycle, like that's normal, Yep. And I can't speak for them, but I mean, based on fictional movies and shit like that, it's almost like a bragging rights. Why else would you get tattoos saying you've been to jail or what number, all that shit. It's like badges of honor or some shit. So I'm not saying they do that where you're at, but in the bigger cities and shit.
Right. Oh, no, I mean, even around here, we have people that are constantly getting arrested, even just to get put back in county lockup. Their biggest thing is they want to go back to the state pen, because in the state pen, they're somebody. They've made a name for themselves. They've done this, they've done that. Once they get back out on the streets, they don't know how to act. They do stuff to get back into their, I mean, I hate saying it, it's their community. It's their way of life. And we run into that all the time.
Yeah. It's indoctrinated into it, almost a Stockholm syndrome or something, Especially somebody that had been in jail a long time, several years or something. Even 2 years. That would fuck somebody up. Hell, just the little time I spent in Desert Storm, 6 months, it took me a little while to adjust to being back home. I mean, not that I went through any, and it was more like being in jail. It's not that I went through battle. I mean, we had some bombs that went off nearby, some scuds and shit, I mean, it was pretty close, but we were in immediate danger. Once they hit, just done and over with. Well, it didn't hit us, we're okay. And but just the everyday, the little routine. There ain't no escape. They didn't have to put no walls up. There wasn't no fucking where to go. It was in the middle of the desert, So it wasn't like you could slip off and try to get you some or something. It was you was just there, and you do that for like 6 months, and that was just 6 months. It was almost I shit you not. It was like I was forgetting what it was like to be home. Seriously. It was, I mean, I remember thinking that, walking down the sidewalk one day, when we was on the main base, they did have a few sidewalks. And I was just like, this is life. I mean, it's like I was got finally brainwashed into this was normal. I get up at such and such time, I go eat my meal, I do my watch, blah blah blah, and it's almost like it was like home was getting a further and further away memory. Like it was almost, and it wasn't that bad that I was just like, I don't remember what it was like to be at home, but it was just seemed like it was just further and further away. It's just weird. I don't know how to explain it, but I would imagine prison's the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you, I don't want to say you only did a 6 month stint, but if you go to the state pen, that's almost always a minimum. Well, not always. Mostly, it's a 5 year. I mean, you can get out early, of course, but that's a 5 year. Same thing. You're just talking every day. You do the same thing, pretty much. And I can see that. This is now my life. And then once you get out, because our prison system, let's face it, our prison system is not a way to, curb what you do or reform it, anything like that. It is just basically you're sitting in a cell. This is your punishment. We're going to give you a couple classes. We'll feed you, and that's pretty much it. We're not making you not do the crime whenever you get back out. And they go out to do the crime, right back in.
Yeah, it's not rehab. It's not a rehab. A rebuild. Rehabilitate. I can't say it.
Rehabilitation.
Yeah, because that would be teaching you that you done wrong and why what you done was wrong and what you could do to not do that again, or so on and so forth. Just saying, oh, we're just gonna lock you in this damn cellar right here, or this cell, and you do it again, we'll bring you right back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, if they get used to living like that, especially if you give them cable TV, workout rooms, library, get their diploma. It's not that that's bad. Maybe that's what they consider rehab.
We're definitely rehab. In the United States. We're doing it wrong. I mean, we're 100% doing it wrong. You look at other countries; they actually have a re-entry. I think that's like a re-entry into the prison population. Their percentages are so much lower than ours. They're doing something right. We're doing it wrong. Why? And I don't know the prison system. I don't know how that works, but why are we not looking at these other countries and being like, our reentry is at 70%, your reentry is at even, let's just say 40%. That's a huge gap. What the hell what are you doing that we're not? Let's work on this.
Well, our drug laws for one thing. And the second thing, just two things off the bat, our drug laws and the fact that about all fucking federal prisons are privately owned. And the only way they can make money is keep them full.
Mm-hmm.
So they ain't going to do a damn thing to reduce the numbers of people that come back as repeat offenders.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I mean, when you make a prison a for-profit institution by private companies, and they're lobbying the congressmen and representatives and all that on what's best in their interest. Well, their interest is make criminals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you think about it, I mean, like really sit down and think. One criminal, let's say you're one criminal that gets convicted with, actually, like you just said, let's use a drug offense. Holy shit! In the United States, that is a huge deal. I get paid to stop you from harming yourself with chemicals, whatever. If that's strictly what it was, I catch you with a possession for something stupid. You end up going through the court system. So just to start off, you're going to get fined, which in turn helps pay my position. You are going to go through a court system, which pays for the judge, the clerks, the lawyers, the defense attorneys. And let's say you have to go to jail. Not even jail yet. No, you have to go and get some type of, basically they have to classify you. So you're paying those people to say you have a drug problem. So now you have to do jail time for the the possession charge. So now you're getting into a jail cell, and you have the warden down to the guards, down to the nurse, down to the doctors, everything else. Plus you have to talk to a psychiatrist. You're paying that. Wow, it's a huge money making outfit. And that's on a limited, that's a very small scale deal.
Well, it gets back to something I said earlier about, the problem with our government is such a huge monster. I don't know how you'd fix that, without just destroying the economy and damn near having to rebuild. I mean, that's really the only way we can save America is the son bitch have to just crash down to nothing and we start over again. Hit the reboot, wipe out the hard drive, start over. And then you wipe out the hard drive and then you load your program back up in it and start building it again. That's all. That's your basic program. Because even like you say, on the local level, the smallest little offense, how much government's involved in that? How much tax money is involved in that? And then they become repeat offenders. Oh my God, what a monster! When I say monster, that's what I mean. Our government, state and federal government put together. I mean, I forget. I've seen the numbers. It's overwhelming. I think together they employ like half of America or some shit like it. It's crazy.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Somehow, some way is involved in it anyway.
And there are certain offenses which I think that after trial, individuals should be sentenced to death immediately. If you rape a child and you're found guilty with all the forensic evidence, you should die. There is no go to jail. You're dead. If you murder somebody, and whenever I say murder, I don't mean you're defending yourself, but you murder your wife because she's sleeping around on you and you just get pissed and lose your shit and murder her. Hey, sorry, you're dead. We're not, once you get convicted, you're dead. Stop housing these people.
Oh, I agree. It's like that case that I'm sure you heard about it. It made national news, where the woman was found in the metal container, chained up like a dog around her neck.
Yep.
That just happened right up the road, next county over. And then they found the body of the boyfriend, and he showed them 2 more graves, and then he admitted to killing 4 more people. There was this a case from like 2003, 2004 that they never could solve. And that's probably why, because he just went in there random and shot up this little motorcycle shop or something. He was there, body's in the ground. He's got this lady chained up for 2 weeks.
And he's saying,
Lord knows what he done to her. We'll give you a fair trial, and then we're going to hang you.
Yep.
Yeah. Period. He, soon as the police showed up or whatever, he just like automatically gave up. Like with no resistance whatsoever, so he didn't get a chance to shoot him. And some sick people in this world, and who knows how many other murders he committed. He's definitely like a serial killer. So Who knows? And his property that they're digging, there's a couple of bodies, and the only reason they found those other 2 bodies is he showed them where they was at. It's 100 acres. How you gonna cover all that? Mm-hmm. There's some people just need to be give you a fair trial, then we're gonna hang you.
Yeah. And the thing is, do you guys have the death penalty?
Yeah, I don't know when's the last time it's been used, but we have it.
You guys have it, but in order to get it, you're looking at roughly 30 years of appeals and everything else. We're going to have, not us, but your state is going to house this son of a bitch for 30 years through all the appeals, and 9 times out of 10, he's just going to die of natural causes in a jail.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Let's fast track this bitch.
Yeah.
Guilty, done, boom, rope down.
If it's just all circumstantial evidence and a little iffy, that I could see not. I could see a life sentence for shit like that, just in
Yeah,
case.
yeah,
But if you caught red-handed, nah.
yeah. Yep, I completely agree. If it's a caught red-handed and you're on 14 different surveillance videos, plus the 5 people that instead of calling 911, they wanted to be YouTube heroes, so they filmed it. There's all that evidence. You're done. But like you said, there's always that one. It's kind of like, man, we're damn well sure that you did it. All of the evidence points to that you did it, but we're missing the eyewitnesses. We're missing the hard evidence that shows that you. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. Yeah, that's a life sentence. But
Yeah,
damn, we
exactly.
would be able to.
I don't think anybody would have a problem with that, But if you're just, you know, fucking just murdered somebody flat out, I'm not even saying a fight broke out and in the scuffle the guy went down, broke his neck, and he killed him. Now I
Mhm.
wouldn't give you a death penalty for that. That'd be like a manslaughter or something like that. I don't know all the terms and what degree means what, but just flat out murder somebody, yeah, fuck that. Not you obviously can't uh, deal with society and get along with everybody. Have a seat. Electric chair.
But the thing is, I've been told I've never been part of a firing squad. I don't even know what states still use that, but I've been told that for a firing squad is the absolute cheapest way to kill somebody because basically you're firing one live, or was it one or two? I think it's one
Probably
live
two.
round. See, it might be two. For some reason, two hit me first, but they're okay. We'll
I'm
say
thinking
there's
two, just in
two
case they
live
miss a
rounds,
vital organ or something.
right? And the other 5 are blanks, and nobody standing on that line knows who has the live rounds. So they're all aiming, and they all pull the trigger, and you get the bang because they're all. At least you have a blank that gives the bang, so that you're not supposed to know who fired the fatal shot. Uh, but that's the cheapest. Well, the rope is probably the cheapest because you could reuse that rope many times.
Yeah, the rope would be that. Well, I mean, it works. Don't get me wrong; it's been proven. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a million hangings or however many's been done. But I think the fire squad is a good idea. And
Mm-hmm.
I know I've told this story before, but like I say, in case some people out there hadn't heard this before, um, my dad back in the day, he had the best idea for death penalty. They would actually make money on it. The state would make money on it. They'd be fucking trying to convict people left and right for fucking murder. What they would have to, what he proposed was, I mean, this is just him talking to me, is they come up with a lottery, and you get to buy a ticket, and you get to be on a firing squad if you win the lottery. And being we're from like South Carolina, you can bring your own gun, your own ammunition. Well, fuck all that blank stuff. It says no, you get to shoot somebody, and they're bad people. They done something really bad. You're not committing murder. He said, shit, them state make millions off that shit,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he's right. It might be a little bit cruel or whatever, but I mean, if you had something like that guy they just caught a couple weeks ago, the one that had the girl chained up like a dog, killed her husband or boyfriend in front of her, um, killed all these other people. Hey, people have no problem. I mean, how about shooting a rabid dog or, a rabid raccoon or fox? You don't blink an eye, you just do it.
See, that is, I don't know. I don't ever want to have to kill anybody. And if it happens, it happens. But I don't ever want to kill anybody. I would have an issue myself, TR, if you killed somebody I didn't even know. By all means, you killed that person. We know you did it. I would have a hard time pulling that trigger to kill you because I'm not personally involved with that. However, if you killed one of my kids or you did something like that, oh fuck yeah, but yeah, you're dead. And that would be a little, I don't know. We're going to get into a little bit too much, psychiatry or stuff, but I don't know if I
Well,
could.
like I said, I mean, it was just my dad talking. It wasn't like he actually proposed it to Congress or no shit like that. It was just like, this is bullshitting around, you know. And it was like, yeah, I ain't saying everybody would buy a ticket, but I guarantee you there would be a shitload of people that would buy tickets to that. Be like trying to, you know, get that. Like some states, it's hard to get a doe tag or something. You know, it's like I hope I win the lottery to get a doe tag this year, or a gator tag or some shit like that.
All right, I've got to stop the presses. MT Rail fan finally signed on to Google Plus. I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, anyway, he's got a good one there too. Hey, JR, what about the politician who commits treason? That would pay off the national debt. Yeah, no shit. You can imagine a damn crooked ass politician. If they sold tickets to it, to that one, we're we got he committed treason. We got to kill him. Firing squad. All right, lottery tickets going for $20 a piece. Going on national sale.
See, I agree with who the hell put it? Somebody said something. Oh wait, AZ said something about he heard the EMT Roll fan has been playing with matches. I kind of figured that my brother heard that, and so he went out and made a Google Plus just to just to chime in on that little comment because it was him.
He's a closet watcher, evidently.
He's the one that had the matches, and I took the heat for it. But that just made up for all the other stuff that I got away with. So that one wasn't too bad. Let's go back to stoning. See, if it's going to be a death, you got to do it quick. I don't agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's why I think fire squad is the best thing to do. Especially if it's our government shit. They just bought billions of damn rounds. It ain't like they ain't got no ammo.
But what if they actually did go back to, I don't want to call it the old law, but that's almost basically what we're looking at is the old law where if you did commit treason or if you were convicted of this, you were hung. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, literally, if it came back to that, could you imagine how many people would be dead within the next month or two? That's scary.
Well, I mean, the fact that we do not use the death penalty that much for convicted killers and, you know, I mean, like serial killers and serial rapists and stuff like that, that we don't use it and they have a, I won't say a good life or decent life in prison, but they have a life. What's the deterrent?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally in South Carolina, the death penalty is a 20-year sentence. We have literally let people off on parole that had the death penalty as their punishment.
Wow. Wow. I'm sure it happens in a lot of states, but damn.
Yeah, because there's a big case that happened here a while back. Now, a few people go, they had the death penalty, and they're like, well, their pardon's 20 years. Well, there's the death penalty. How the fuck you get release people on a pardon if they had a death penalty?
Right.
Yep. But now I take that back. It wasn't a death penalty; it was a life sentence. I take that back. It was a life sentence. They had a life sentence, but after 20 years, you get out.
Yeah, that's why I have to add that little part at the end of it, a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Without.
Yeah, my bad. I'll have to research that, but I want to say there's some fucking death penalty. But I know it was at least life sentence. But I think it's had to be a death penalty because it made a big uproar. I think it did have the death penalty, but anyway.
All right, well, I'm going to mix politics now with the crime. Okay. And I know that you're the one that would know this answer. Let's say, which we all know is going to happen, just before Trump gets inaugurated as the president, and he is the president of the United States, We all know that he is probably going to pardon Hillary Clinton for any crimes that she may have committed. He's probably going to pardon, oh God, what's the other fellow's name? I can't remember his name right now. But is that, I mean, is that, I don't want to say is that legal and sound like an idiot, but is that legal? Can he pardon if the FBI is doing an investigation for illegal activity? Can he pardon her for everything she's done as far as these emails go, as far as the scandals go, as far as the Hillary Foundation goes? Does he have that power to say all is well?
Obama?
He can't be charged. Yes. Before he gives up presidency.
No. When Ford pardoned Nixon, Ford was in power. He was the president. And he did issue a blanket pardon to Nixon. But basically what it was telling the FBI or Attorney General and all that, you can go ahead and continue on, but whenever you do, I'm just going to pardon them. So basically it's like, there's no use of wasting your time, effort, taxpayers' money, because soon, no matter what you do, I'm pardoning them. But a Barack Obama can't pardon somebody that hasn't been convicted of a crime.
Okay.
So there was a difference. And there might be some more to it than that, because Nixon he had committed no crime, but Ford gave him a blanket pardon. But like I said, now that would be fucked up if he done it. But now Trump going in could tell the FBI, I'll give her a pardon if you prosecute her, and they'll probably drop the case. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No. And I realize that they're all playing nice right now to get this transition period to go through, which we've done that for presidents for how many years in the past. But I really hope that once he is the president, that he does what he says. He is going to, and it's not that, actually, yes, it is. It's that I hate Hillary Clinton that much. However, if she did something illegal, she should be held accountable for that, just like any of us. And I hope that he does make his special panel and he says, look, you do the investigation, and if charges are warranted, charge her. And then that gets taken in front of a special prosecutor along with a special judge that, whenever I say a judge that doesn't lean one way or the other, and it's not a panel of judges, it is one judge and or one jury. And it gets taken care of. And at this point, should she be convicted and sentenced to jail time, sentenced to this, sentenced to that? Absolutely, without a doubt. But as an American person, I would rather hear that she was convicted of it, she was found guilty of it, and at this point, I wouldn't even care if she actually got jail time. I just want to hear somebody say she is guilty of this, she did this, it is wrong, she is paying this much in fines. Because putting Hillary Clinton in jail at this point, it's not going to do anything. It ain't going to do anything.
No. And we know that ain't never going to happen.
Right. But just to hear those words,
I would agree with you. They could, if they just convicted her and put her on probation or some shit, you know what I'm saying? We'd all be good with it. Well, I would. I mean, I'd rather see her. I'd like to see her in jail. I know it's not going to happen. So that's a fairy tale. You get hit by lightning 3 times and then win the lottery before Hillary Clinton ever steps foot in a fucking jail.
But wouldn't just hearing that we had this hearing, we had this trial, and we find her guilty. And I hate saying that I would be willing to give up, but I would just be willing to have that as she was found guilty. Either by peers or by a judge, she was found guilty, and I'd be all right for that.
Yeah, that's hey. 806 Traveler says take away the Clinton Foundation. Well, if being how the Clinton Foundation is involved in the whole pay for play and all that, yeah, I'd say fine them a couple $1 billion. I don't know how much they got in there. It was like billions. Give them a damn big fine, $10 billion. Wipe them out. Close the business down. Make them lose their tax of whatever it is.
501c3.
Yeah, there you go. lose that. Find them whatever they got in their account. Boom, find them that. Seize all
and,
funds.
and and give it to the vets.
Yeah,
You
there you
seize
go.
all funds, you give it to the vets.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, I would prefer to go to the vets or the homeless that are the homeless American citizens. And I stress that American citizens part. I don't care where it goes, but it's got to go back to America.
Yeah, some type of civil service type deal. Like say veterans, whatever. Um, but that would be as good as a like I said, she ain't going to jail, but yeah, they could shut down the Clinton Foundation, seize all funds, shut that operation down. She can no longer have any kind of public service job again. You can just come off a list like that. So pretty much they could just go to their probably got a private island somewhere and live the rest of your life. We won't hear from you ever again.
But and that's the thing. It's been set out in the out a chat room in a couple different ways. But if they really fear that something's going to happen, those funds are already gone. They've been divided up between the donors and the people that are going to make the profit, and it's been gone. But the government shouldn't stop with, oh, well, they gave it to this. No, you take it back from everybody. I don't care if the foundation gave it to somebody else. Nope. Sorry, but if we find out that your foundation that they donated to, which we all know is bullshit, is a good, a legit, and at least 95% of the money goes to help others, we'll leave it. We'll give it back to you. But up until that point in time, we're holding it. We'll do our investigation, and then we'll start releasing the funds.
Yeah, I think it was AZ or somebody put in there that their donations are already down 37%.
TR, we'd be assholes if we ran this place.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
We'd have to
Well, it'd just be like when you was a kid. I mean, I would that'd be more like a dictatorship. But I'm just saying, you fuck up, you get punished. You do good, I'll pat you on the back. Go do whatever the hell you want. Just don't fuck up. Follow the rules. That's the way it should be. Yeah, I'd be cutting fucking programs and shit. They think I'm bad. I wouldn't so much just cut. Yeah, I would cut a lot of programs flat out. Don't get me wrong. I would do that. Yes, I would. But I'm not talking about damn homeless shelters and shit like that. Later 806. I don't think it'd be that hard to cut back the budget and make it actually put money towards our debt. People be whining and crying, but it would happen. Foreign aid, I just cut that shit off altogether. I know it wouldn't make a dent in the damn economy, but it don't make any sense whatsoever. We're in debt, going in debt every day, every day. No, we ain't giving money to other countries.
No, I realize that foreign aid is needed to help, not help, but it's all a political agenda. I realize that that's part of it. I absolutely understand that. However, if more people would get pissed off that we're giving our money to other countries instead of to our own country with the people that are in need, I'd be okay with that. Then anything above that, if we have it, give it to them. I mean, it's, I can't see letting anybody starve, go homeless, without heat, without electricity, without this, without that. But yet we're so willing to give it to another country for the same fucking reasons.
Exactly. Claim humanitarian reasons, and then we got shit going on here, Homeless living in the streets, vets living in the streets, vets killing themselves. Yeah. Take that $80 billion you give them to this little third world fucking country and build a fucking shelter. Yep. Give these guys and gals and kids, there's homeless kids, place to shower, wash off, give them a damn hot meal. At least let them get to a lot of them want to be there, but a lot of them don't.
Right.
The ones that don't want to be there, let them get cleaned up and get, be able to get a job, to do something.
Yeah. Because I mean, and if you look at it, and God, I'll tell you, here we go with the Facebook videos again. But I mean, there's a lot of videos out there of somebody that leaves $100 underneath a homeless person's pillow or something, and they find it, and they're like, "Oh my God, $100!" And they go out and they buy themselves blankets and pillows and bags and stuff. And then the same guy, it's all a social experiment. But that same guy sits on a bench right beside the guy, and it was the one I saw, he was talking like he had to come up with the $100 to get his child medicine because his child had some type of disease. And that homeless person took all their shit back, got the money, came back and gave it to that guy.
I seen that video.
There's more of those people out there than what we all think about. It's just that they're not all given the opportunity, because we do. I mean, I can say I do, Tiara, if you want to, it's not that you look down to them. It's just that maybe you turn your head and walk by them. And we shouldn't do that. I mean, not all homeless people are homeless because it was their choice. But that speaks volumes. I mean, that speaks.
I would help out a homeless person more so if I just saw them in need at the time or whatever, but they wasn't asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many scammers out there, the ones holding the signs up, we'll work for food, and that's been proven. I ain't saying all those are scammers. It's been proven time and time again that a good many of them are.
Right.
That I would walk right by. But like I say, you just happen to catch a guy in need, and right circumstances, I have no problem giving to that. Yeah, I've seen them where somebody will buy them a pizza, and then they start sharing it with a guy that just bought it for them.
Right. Yeah. That's what, and it's not even about. The only thing it is about being a human to another human. And I agree with you about the scams and all that other stuff. But if you look at it at your own community, you know who the people are. You know who the people are that are down on their luck. Especially us being from the smaller communities, we can help. Yeah, we can help, and this is turned into a a church revival type looking thing. But I mean, it really is. It really. I mean,
I know of one homeless lady. This is, as far as I know, she's probably dead now. But I mean, it was to the point everybody knew who she was. Everybody called her, damn, Hubba Bubba or something like that. Hubba Bubba or something. Anyway, this lady actually had like a house and was doing well, was actually fairly well off, and just fucking went off the deep end one day. And she walked the streets up and down Berea and cussing cars out as they go by, shooting birds, and lived out in the woods somewhere. And everybody knew her name. And it was, I mean, I won't say it was a joke, but it was just like, and you felt bad for her, but that's what she chose. That's what she wanted. And, that ain't your normal homeless, but, like I say, some homeless want to be homeless and want to be where they're at. But I've seen Buck Run, a lot of scammers out there. That's why I say, fucking that. I'm a little hesitant to give to, I give to very few charities because I just don't trust charities. About the only thing locally that I'll give to every once in a while is Meals on Wheels. I think that's a legitimate charity. All volunteers, food's donated, people that take the meals to the people that can't get out or make our own meals and stuff. I think that's a good cause. Maybe don't serve yourself at the expense of others. Maybe don't serve others at the expense. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, charities are. Yeah, I agree. At least 85% going directly to whatever It is. Because to be a charity, I think you only have to get like 5%, 4 or 5% go to the ones that need it. Like, let's say, I hate to point one out, and I don't know all the numbers, but just to say it's for cancer or something, a certain cancer. You give money to that, and most, if not all, the money just goes to research. Well, you're paying the pharmaceutical companies just to continue to make shit that don't work and poison people. I mean, you know, they're so even the MS one, you know, the ones for the MS.
In a lot of those, if you look into a lot of charitable events, their chair people and their count or not, well, I was going to call them their council, they're making buku bucks. I mean, buku bucks. It's like, what the fuck? This is a charity. Yeah, I understand that you have to be able to run it, but whenever your salaries are taking up 85% of it and you're only giving away 15%, there's a fucking issue there.
Yeah. It's a damn business is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is not a charity anymore.
I know we got a Miracle Hill. I don't know how big an organization that is. We got a Miracle Hill here in South Carolina. And they do house and do drug rehab programs and stuff for people. But any building you see, they didn't pay a dime for it. It was all volunteers, all volunteer labor, supplies. They have the boxes out where people could donate clothes. They're big on that. I'm not saying that they don't have good programs, but it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
And all those clothes that's donated, you know what they do with them? They bale them up, big bales, and they ship them to Africa, I think, and they get like $1,500 a bale for them. Because my brother was in rehab at one. He was telling me about the whole operation. That's back when I was still talking to him. What's happening, Rick?
Just headed home. Man, it's cold in South Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, it got cold yesterday. It just all of a sudden somebody flipped the switch.
So is it like 50 down here?
I'm wearing shorts. I got off the airplane and said, holy crap.
It's like 50 degrees, isn't it?
45.
Oh, I feel bad for you.
I know.
Well, it's getting down in the 30s tonight. It was 30 degrees this morning when I got to work.
That's what my wife said. She said it was cold. Well, if I don't see any of you guys before then, a happy Thanksgiving in case my cell phone cuts out.
All right.
It's right now it's 27 outside my door with a wind chill of 18.
Yeah.
And if you remember, what day did Matt have his chat? That was Friday or Saturday?
Friday.
Yeah, whatever day that was, Friday. It was 64 degrees, and I'm sitting in my garage enjoying a chat with my, I don't know, I call them parachute pants or like a windbreaker type deal. That's what I had on for a jacket. The fucking next day, it started snowing like a bitch.
Did you just say parachute pants?
Yes, parachute pants, the swishy pants.
Were you even old enough to have those?
Yes, I was. MC Hammer is my idol.
Yeah, that front finally hit us yesterday. Yeah, I mean, normal winter for us is 30s at night. You know, if it gets into the teens, that's pretty abnormal. If it gets into the 20s, or well, let's say even teens, if it gets into the teens, it's usually only a day or two. It probably still hits above freezing during the day. But we only have a few months of winter. I mean, it's supposed to be, this is probably like normal for us right now, about. It might be a little bit below normal, but December, January, February, that's for cold months, and then it starts warming back up. Usually January is colder than December.
They said 2 years ago it snowed on Halloween, so.
Yeah. It snowed on the first day of spring here before. But it was like a blizzard that went through the whole fucking state, country or whatever.
I'm still waiting for snow. Like right now, there's I don't know. There's probably only about 4 inches of snow out there, but guarantee you before next fucking Monday, we're gonna get a couple days of 47-degree weather. It's all gonna melt, and then we have rifle season. It's the way it always works. We have never, for at least the last I know about 5 years, there's never been snow on the ground for the first day of rifle.
Hey, Blue, I haven't talked to you since. I haven't heard anything on your videos. Maybe I missed one. Did you guys get that tax or whatever for you guys to not lay anybody off?
They did. They discussed it again at the last meeting about putting in. I don't know if it's called a fire tax or a public service tax or whatever it is, but everybody's still in support of that. But since the last meeting and the meeting we just had on Wednesday, they've had no budget meetings in between then, so they haven't discussed anything as a council. So
sorry, TR. I was just.
What are you apologizing for?
I didn't know if you guys talked about it earlier. But I was curious because I think that's happening around the country. Basically, people are figuring out that they need police and fire, and no one wants to pay taxes, which I understand. But on the other end of that, you're not going to get fire and police as fast. So, good luck with that, Blue. Hopefully it works out for you guys.
What a lot of people are starting to understand is a 1 mil tax increase for that public safety, whatever they want to call it. It equals out to like $74 a year, if that even. It's not even that. And people, at least the majority of them, are willing to pay the extra $74 a year, which if you break that down to month or even daily, it's like 27 cents a day or something like that. People are willing to pay it to keep it. So the one thing, though, that I don't agree with, and I don't know if this is strictly based on Pennsylvania or not, I don't agree that if you have a local department, fire and or police that covers your area, why you have to pay a state tax to get the state protection. I think that if you have a local police department that's 24/7, why would you pay the state tax to have the state police coverage? You don't need it. And I think that's that double whammy that we're kind of running into. And I know that there's been talks of laws going out that if your police department if it's not a 24-hour coverage and it covers, like, let's just say 200 hours a week, that each resident or each resident has to pay like $80 a year or something. And I hate saying it, but I would love to see that go through in Pennsylvania, just for the simple fact that if that goes through in Pennsylvania, your own local government can cover you for so much cheaper.
Yeah, you got to think big picture, Blue, on that. Like working in the state of California, and I don't know exactly how it is, which tax is what, but usually there is a city tax and a state tax. But you got to think of mutual aid agreements and large-scale wildland fires. Not to say that they're not going to come in and help protect stuff, but I guess basically anything out of the city where you're going to see more wildland issues, it's going to be on the state or feds anyways. But it's kind of an agreement.
Right. No, and that makes sense. I did kind of forget to use the mutual agreement, because let's face facts that even if you don't pay that so much money to the state, even the local departments, we're still using the state labs for forensics. We're using all that. So, I mean, I realize that there has to be something.
I'll give you a good example. Like small city A, right, has a large-scale structure fire, maybe a big hotel. It's a 3 or 4 alarm fire. They're not going to have the resources needed or be able to commit all their resources to extinguish a fire. So they'll have, maybe they'll have the state come in and they'll help assist. And the state does structural fires just as much as wildland fires. So that could be, where that helps out.
Yeah, my biggest thing are these townships, boroughs, cities, whatever, that think that they can go years on end without raising taxes, just look. I mean, I'm not even going to compare it to gas prices, but you could. But look at a loaf of bread. Look at a gallon of milk. It might not go up, a lot, but it goes up. Everything every year goes up, and we need to start. Nobody likes it. I don't want to pay higher taxes for where I live. I don't. But it's one of those deals that unless everything across the board is frozen, I mean everything, you have to raise it to keep the bare minimum, and it sucks. Somebody put out there about the gray people, which I thought was an alien, but apparently we're talking about the elderly. I don't want to see my parents have to pay more. I don't. But there's that thing where we as a country have to stand together to keep everything at an even to where, yeah, you're still paying for it, but it's really not coming out of your pocket as per se, which we all know that doesn't happen. That's where we need to be, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's a. You would think local level could get a handle on it a lot better, and maybe they do. It's just the higher you get up to where you get into some really big wasteful stuff, and I don't know that the whole tax system. I don't even believe in property taxes, to be honest with you. I don't think you should be able to tax somebody's home or land. Now, I'm not against a sales tax. I would rather see it be a sales tax. I'd rather do away with my property taxes, increase the sales tax another few pennies or whatever it take to equal out. And that way, if you make a lot of money, you spend a lot of money, you pay a lot of taxes.
Right.
You don't make much money, you don't spend much money, you don't pay taxes. But when I get to the point where my house is paid off, if they keep going up on my property tax and I don't pay it, well, then they seize my house. So I never own my house. The state owns my house. I'm renting it from them.
Right.
So I don't think property taxes. I don't know how in the hell they talk people into agreeing with that shit. But I think property taxes is fucked up.
Think about it. It is technically, it's easy how they talked them into doing it, because we will take care of your roads. We'll make sure you'll be able to get from point A to point B. That was probably the first one. We will tax you for communication. I mean, even back in the day of the Morse code thing, or even the hand crank phone system, there was probably a tax on that. And people at first were probably, we don't need that. But once people started using it, it was like, holy crap, we can communicate with somebody, my family member who lives a whole whopping 50 miles away. But on horse and buggy, it takes me 5 days to get there. You know what I mean? It was, and that's kind of how they kind of reeled us all into it. And we just became complacent instead of saying, wait, what the hell is this tax for? What?
Yeah.
What?
And it was probably minuscule.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I'll pay, a penny a month.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably what it was.
Now people are getting, their $1,500 a year property tax on their house that they got to include into their mortgage so they can freaking pay it,
Right. And the other thing I think is school tax. And I people disagree with me on this. I've got 3 kids. I should pay my fair share of my 3 kids going to a public school. Once my kids are out of school, I shouldn't have to pay that anymore. If somebody that has no kids, you don't pay that.
Yeah, I'm 48 years old. I've been paying fucking school taxes my entire life. I've never had a kid.
Yeah, and that's bullshit. Why are you doing that?
Yeah. Now, I could say property tax on cars because a lot of the money does go to roads and stuff. And you can put the art museum and, schools and all on that. That's fine because, like in South Carolina, I don't have to pay property taxes on my car as long as I don't want to get a tag for it and drive it on the roads. But if you want to drive it on the roads, well, then you got to pay property tax. So
wait, you have to pay a property tax on your car?
Yeah, car, boat, motorcycle.
Well, actually, are you referring that as the registration?
No, it's a tax.
What?
Greenville County tax notice, 1998 Ford pickup truck.
Wow.
Now it don't cost shit. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind it on the. Okay, this is on my truck, my burgundy truck. I've done the rants and stuff. Out of that money, it ain't nothing. If you get a new car, it's $500, $600, $700 a year, and then it goes down real quick.
What?
Greenville County Schools, 66%, $9.25. Greenville County, 19%, $2.56 or 58. Glassy Mountain Fire Department, 10%, $1.46. And then library, 43 cents. Greenville Tech, 27 cents. Art Museum, 6 cents. Total taxes, $14.05. Road maintenance, $15. Total amount due, $29.05.
Okay, I've got to ask you. Whenever you pay that, do they send you like a registration sticker that makes your truck legal?
Yeah, I get a year sticker.
All right.
A sticker, and it goes on the tag. You know, of course, every so many years they issue new tags. But yeah, I'll get a sticker, and it makes my truck good for the road for another year.
All right. Well, you sent me into an all-out fucking panic until you said that. But basically, same thing. They don't call it a property tax, but I have to pay a registration fee of $36 a year. Same thing. It's the exact same thing. They just call it something different.
Yeah. I mean, it may not say property tax, but that's what it is, you know. Because if I go in there, and I got my one for my land and my home in there, comes from the same place, looks just like this, says the same damn thing, except it's a little bit more.
Hey, you sent me into an all-out panic. I'm like, what the fuck? Does he have to pay this and then pay a registration fee as well?
Like I said, it's not much on an old vehicle, but if you got a new vehicle, it's going to be $500, $600, $700 a year.
No shit. See, we don't get charged a property tax for owning cars. If it's like a like, you know, your regular sedan or pickup truck, it's like $36 to $50 some odd dollars a year. You know, but there are hardly any trucks like semis registered in the state of Pennsylvania because of how much money it is. But yeah, that's.
But I mean, like I said, really, only $15 went toward road maintenance. The rest of it is all taxes for me, and it's based on the value of the vehicle. It's property tax. But if I go get my actual property, like on my land, it's broke down the same way. Same thing.
Well, at least I see you haven't marked as paid. So
yeah. If I don't do that, I'll did I pay that one? Do I need to pay that one?
Damn. Did you see in the external that where Jay Greg pays $115 a year for registration? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. But there again, we're all getting it. We're getting up the ass the same way. They just put it on different.
Yeah, it's just spread out different. Like I said, I know my first wife had a family member down here. He was from Tennessee. This was back in the early 2000s. And me and him was talking, and he was talking about like they had a vote coming up where they was going to introduce property taxes, but they was going to lower some other kind of tax. And I was like, oh, hell no. No. Do not let them put a property tax on you. Do not do that. I'm sure they did, but you know, like if all you got is a sales tax or something like that now, keep that. Let them go up on that. No, yeah. Because I mean, like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with a flat tax.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially on the state level and stuff. I mean, stuff does have to be paid for, but I don't see how anybody could argue against a flat tax. You have hardly anybody working in the state IRS, whatever they call that, because they ain't having to figure out, well, you know, of course, you getting into state income taxes and all that other shit. But this is flat tax. If you make $1 million and you spend half of it, well, guess what? You paid a shitload of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, that'd be my problem.
It would be the same no matter how much you make. Whether, you know, if Donald Trump went into the store and bought a 6-pack of beer, he pays the same tax I do.
Right.
If it's all you got, a flat tax, sales tax.
Yep. And that's
when he buys $1 million yacht, well, guess what? He pays a little bit more taxes than my damn 98 model Ford pickup that I bought.
yeah. No, I agree with that. And if you're a rich person that knows how to live, I don't want to say thriftily, but that's the only word I can think of. But without, you don't need all the luxury this, the luxury that. You can make a killing. Absolutely make a killing. But if you're the rich person that needs that yacht, that needs that jet, that needs that whatever, you pay the tax on it.
Hey, Luke. Yeah, it's same thing with federal tax. I mean, even if you still had the IRS, and which I don't think it should be any federal tax, but okay, beside the point, we won't get into that. We ain't got time for that shit. It'll just be a flat tax. You don't need the IRS. I don't need to, fill out by the H&R Block software or whatever. It just be like, unless you was self-employed or other things where you had income where you wasn't involved in a business, the business would take out 10% of your income, boom, send it to the IRS. Done. No refunds, none, just boom, it's done.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, and I hate even admitting this, but I take out, whenever I go to work, I list as a single with only one dependent whenever I have 3. I kind of look at it as an end of the year savings account, or the beginning of the new year savings account. They're raping me right now, but I'm going to get $5,000-$6,000 in February, or not February, but March, April ish, and it's like, if I can survive with it, I hate saying that, but if I've got it in my pocket, I might spend it. So
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I do decent getting. Luckily, the way all the tax code is and everything, I'm single, no dependents, but I can still write off my. I'm a homeowner, so I can write that off. I can write off like when I spend money on solar power shit, and I usually get back a little bit of money, a few $1,000s, and most of the time I just put it in the bank, and that gives me an extra cushion in the bank account throughout the year. I'll probably buy a gun or some shit, but I won't blow it all, but I'll just use it as a cushion, just a little bit more cushion in the bank, because I'll end up pissing it away by the end of the year anyway.
Oh yeah. I just like how individuals that pay, or they don't work, or they don't have any income tax, and yet they've got 10 kids and they're getting $10,000 back. It's like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Income tax. Not that I'm already paying for your kids, and you got 10 of them that I'm paying for, but since you get 10, you get 1,000 for each. That's no bullshit. No, you don't get it. No.
I do. Well, I don't know if I'll do it this year or not, but for several years now, there's been a few people that I do their taxes for them, single moms. Not down and single moms, nothing like that, don't get me wrong. But when I first found out about earned income credit, that's when it was. The first time I sat down, and I was just running TurboTax. I mean, it wasn't a complicated thing, but what the girl paid in, what is it, like $2,000 taxes or something like that, maybe. Say federal taxes, she paid in $1,500, $2,000, got back $5,000. I'm like, how the fuck did that happen?
You need to go pop yourself out some kids there, TR.
Yeah, but now the amount of kids don't really matter. You can only put down 2 kids for the earned income credit. So now the 10 kids or whatever might be good for food stamps and all them other programs, but as far as the federal, the earned income credit, you could have 5 kids, but you can only put down 2 of them. So
really, I could have sworn that for the last years, all 3 of my kids, I've been putting them in, and they give me $1,000 credit for each.
That might be some other thing. Is it earned income? Yeah. You can list them, but I think 2 is all they really ever give you credit for far as the earned income credit. Now, there might be other stuff with a family. I don't know.
I'll have to look this year. Whenever I do it, I'll have to look to see if they're only giving me for 2. But and yes, all 3 of them live with me, and yes, I feed every fucking one of them. And no, we don't take any public assistance. So if they want to give me $3,000, I'm good with that.
I mean, I'm an end to Fed guy. I don't think we should be paying any kind of fucking income tax. But you know, when I pay what I gotta pay, then I look and say, you put in 2 and you got 5 back. What the? Something ain't right here. Yeah, Italian Rebel says it's 2.
Wow, I'm
pretty sure. I mean, you can put more down, but they only count 2. That's why even if you got 2 or 3 kids, you know, as long as they're spread out a little bit, you always have that 2.
Right.
Yeah. But still, you know, whatever. And I'm no tax expert. Like I say, all I do is go through TurboTax, or sometimes I use H&R Block, whatever. No, I don't go to H&R Block. I use their software.
Yeah, you know. Whichever one's giving you the best discount to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I do it.
All right. Well, it's been right at 2 hours. Good to see Italian Rebel out there. That's the guy we used to work with, actually. Hadn't seen him in a while. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I'll let you do a outro if you want to, Blue.
No, I really don't have anything. I'm just going to, like I said, next weekend or the whole next month's going to be pretty screwed up for me. So if you guys catch me on TR's chat, consider yourself blessed. I'm just messing with you, but hunting season's coming in, plus working evenings, but we'll see what we can do. I'll try to get in as much as I can, but there will definitely be some videos coming out from the woods, and I'm going to take out Blue Point 2, which is my hold on a minute, 7-year-old. I'm going to take him out hunting with me this year, and he's not actually going to shoot, but he wants to go. He's made it a point that he wants to go out. So we'll get some video out there. But other than that, I hope I get to catch you guys at least next week. Tuesday, maybe for a couple hours this Tuesday. Sunday, maybe for an hour. And then after that, no more me on the chats for a while.
Okay, no problem. Hey, man. It's just a damn YouTube chat. Don't give up your life for it, you know.
I had to give up my left nut.
All right. I can't say I got anything special coming up. I don't want to make any promises because then I'll pull around and not do it. I ain't going to say I'm going to make a video and then I don't do it. So I'll do whatever. There'll be some videos coming up, I'm sure. Enjoy doing the chats. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. I had a great crowd. Still got a lot of people out there. Thanks for coming by. And we'll definitely be back Sunday night, next Sunday night. And of course, I got the Tuesday night chat coming up on Tuesday. Same time, same channel. And good to see Luke out there. He's been popping in some chats here and there lately. It's good seeing you back around, or roaming around this there, Luke. So, anyway, with that, I'm going to cut this off. Let Luke get some sleep. And we'll catch up on some comments. And, and I'll see y'all next time. Later, everybody.